Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Again, my name is Mooney and I am on Sapphire today. If you know me and you follow my Instagram channel, I do have a small little story for her for a roleplay. She is one of the horses I've rescued. She's a mountain horse, so we're going to get started today. I'm just going to kind of go around again. We're kind of still within the Camp Western era for the summer, so we're just going to kind of go around and collect gold and do some little questing here and there. I don't necessarily have all the quests in Camp Western there because I just completed them all previously, so we're just going to get some gold, kind of go over some stuff, some things I like, and kind of get your opinions as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I am going to kind of talk about today some showing servers. I know I discussed my own a little bit briefly in my last video, and I hadn't really touched on it too harshly. So I am the owner of Equine National Horse Shows. I am the owner of that showing, and I also do the judging and the scoring for that. We are primarily based in dressage showing, so that's the thing that we like to specialize in, I guess you would say. I really enjoy my showing server. It's had its ups and downs for sure. Definitely came from the ground up. We originally were established in April of 2024, and then we got hacked and I had to completely restart my showing server and rebuild. We were approximately about 125 people back then, and we now are down to like 33. So restarting definitely hurt a little bit, but hey, that's how we build better members, so I think that's just kind of the goal here. I'm going to touch base on some of the other showing servers too. I think it's really important to have some really reliable showing servers, especially ones that I really enjoy, that I've been a part of or that I am a part of, not just staff wise but also like competing wise as well. If you primarily know me outside of my showing server, you know that I am a photographer for a lot of different showing servers, so you'll see me around or hang around or even join in to take some photos. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on mine, but we are dressage based. We do FEI type dressage, so contemporary and modern dressage. And I'll link my showing server down below as well as the others. But yeah, we primarily do specialize in a lot of the real world dressage, I guess you could say. A lot of people do seem to think that it's drill, and it's not. It's just primarily individual dressage based showing server. And we just completed our season for the year, so we're going to only be doing pop-ups from this point on. We do occasionally dabble into hunters and other things, but currently we only are doing dressage. So we might host like a pop-up, because I am trained in hunters and I am trained in all the other showing servers. But yeah, so we pretty much just do our own thing. It's kind of nice. We have really solid members in our club, in our showing server. So I almost said club because I'm so used to having a club as well. I run my own club. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing a lot of things. We just started like kind of introducing more getting to know you type based things. So, you know, doing some trail rides or camp stories and stuff like that. It's been a real good time. We did red light, green light one night, so it was kind of cool. But yeah, we're going to kind of transition from there. I want to give a really good shout out to another showing server, SEC. The owner is Izzy. Isabel, I think her name is Cloudwater. Could be wrong. I think it's either Cloudwater or Cloudhearth, but she can correct me if anything. But she has done quite a bit of work in her own server, and I have been a part of her showing server as a photographer for a very long time. And I think she does a really good job of hosting her shows. She's very thorough, very clean and cut. I really enjoy being a part of her server as just even staff. Another thing about it is they are temporarily, I think, only doing small pop-ups as well, just based off her last status on things. So I think it would be a good addition for you guys to join them. If you haven't or aren't already a part of their showing server, definitely highly recommend. They're really awesome. Izzy is really thorough with her stuff. Make sure everybody goes in prepared, which is really important when you do showing servers. But yeah, I think it's a really good showing server as well, in addition to a lot of others. It's a little bit more around jumpers and hunters, so keep that in mind. They aren't going to have a lot of other introductory things. I think another server that I want to also touch base on that I have recently gotten more into, they aren't necessarily a showing server rather than an open server. And if you know their club name, it is Southern Rush. This one is Southern Rush Inc. Open Server. They are primarily Western, and they are a bunch of great, just great people that pretty much pull things together. I love being a part of their server. They do unique things. They'll do like clothing days where they'll do different outfits. They'll do trail rides, shows, Western shows. And they are primarily more Western based, so it is a little bit more different than my server or Izzy's server. So I would definitely also try and join their open server. They're really awesome, really supportive, and I'm really glad to be a part of them. I am a photographer for them as well, but I do like to compete a little bit, so I have been a part of a few of their shows, and I'm ecstatic to say that they run it very, very, very well. And it's fun. It's really, really fun. Another server that I want to kind of also touch base on is JEA. Now, I know they kind of have been like MIA themselves, and that's Jorvik Eventing Association. I've been a staff in their server for quite a bit of time. I was a photographer for their server, and I've always enjoyed doing photography for their shows, and they have a really clean-cut, precise eventing server, anywhere from show jumping, jumpers, to just a bunch of things. Like, they do eventing as well, and I think they also do have a like an educational center as well, like clinics and stuff like that. So I think they're really, really awesome as well. I think they're a great server to be a part of. Definitely join them. It doesn't hurt to be in multiple, because different showing servers will do different shows on different dates as well as times. I do want to touch on another showing server that is Hunters based as well, and that would be Natural Hunters Inc. They are also, I'm part of their open server. I'm not a staff in there, but I did join them because I have actually showed with them with plenty of my Hanoverians. So I've just done a broad range of showing across the board, but I enjoy their shows too. They have, I think, 3 announcers. I'm not totally sure, don't quote me on that, but I have seen 2, and they're really, really nice, and they explain a lot of things as they go. I've learned quite a bit from their shows, and I think they're also kind of on the down season of showing. I can't exactly remember who's where. But yeah, they are a good showing server as well. I think another one that people kind of forget about are just the tiny ones too. Like, another one that I'm a part of is Jorvik Equestrian Sports Federation. So I'm a photographer for them, and I also do some showing. I've done a little bit of showing with them. Keep in mind, I run my own showing server, so when I do say a little bit of showing, it is primarily just because I don't do a lot. I have my own showing server that I have to run, so I don't do a lot. But when I do, it's mostly just dressage, and I'm a part of a dressage overall Instagram page, which you kind of have to be invited to. So I'm a part of their showing for dressage. We still haven't figured out, I think, which showing servers are doing the Olympics this year. We were supposed to figure it out last month, or I'm sorry, this month. Actually, technically, we're supposed to figure out by the end of this month. But I haven't seen any postings or anything. I'm not going to put my showing server through that. I did it in 2024, and it was just not great. It was not great. It was a hot mess. I was a judge, and unfortunately, it just didn't go as well as you'd think it would. I mean, there's a bunch of different servers that were involved. They had different tables and different banners. And don't get me wrong, it was fun to be a part of it, but it's just a lot of work. And I don't think this year we're kind of set up for that, especially since we're going to be in our down season soon. So I think the focus will be mostly just to support where we can in other servers and kind of just go from there. But I did want to touch on some of those showing servers. A few that really aren't necessarily showing servers, but just a real good community. And they are, like Southern Rush, a very much what do you call it? A club server. So they do both. So some clubs will do an open server, or they'll do their own private club server, which I think is just cool overall. And that's the Forest Whisperers open server. I was a part of theirs. I actually got added to theirs quite randomly, but I really, really enjoy their server as well. It gives like a homey feeling. They're very, very nice, and they've not only supported me within my own like role plays, but they've also supported some of the showing server stuff that we do. So I really took a lot of value in that, and I really ran with it. And they're just a very supportive group. Just kind of like, I hate to say they're like Southern Rush, but they are similar, but they aren't. And they're just really supportive. And I look for, very supportive showing servers that I can, kind of be around and be with. I have had other showing servers that I was around that weren't quite the same. And certain people thought the relationships that I was trying to be in with their server or with the owner, I don't really know, but that it was parasocial, and I'm not all for that. I can do things on my own. I don't need someone for that. I'm just trying to be really good friends with people and have a really fun time doing showing and eventing and all of that, and I think it was taken the wrong way. So we've learned from that. Definitely learned. But yeah, those are the showing servers that I've really, really had a great time in. I've had success being a part of and growing throughout. SEC is my number one top one that I'll rave about for the longest time because of the way it's been ran, and it's been very consistent over the years. Even if they are doing a downtime this year, kind of like us, where they started a little bit earlier than we did, but our dressage showing server doesn't pick up until spring, and it's technically February, because I know it still snows in February in some states. I'm in the US if you don't know. But it starts typically I would say like mid-February, end of February, and then we start picking up from there, and we typically end around end of August, beginning of September. That doesn't mean we don't still do shows. We do pop-ups and stuff, but we're primarily taking a break from like the dressage realm. We're going to start doing more of like the hunters and stuff like that, so it's going to start picking up in a different aspect. So I'm really excited to try and delve into that and bring in the hunters realm, give people something to do during the seasonal times. I know we're going to start picking up in a lot of the SSO based seasonal events. I was trying to figure out the words, but we're going to start picking up in SSO in all of their events, and I know that kind of can get in the way of doing showing stuff. So I'm going to try and be very conscious of like that when we do our showing stuff. Our days did change a little bit, so it was a little bit different for everybody. Whereas we used to do weekends, now we do weekdays, and we do them pretty late. Most of the times my server is a Tuesday-based showing and I just hit the wrong button. They're Tuesday-based showing and Sunday-based showing. Sometimes, occasionally, Fridays and Saturdays. It just really depends. I work, if you didn't catch it in the last videos, but I work 3 jobs. I work really hard in real life, and it's to afford the ability to have a life of my own outside of the gaming world. So it's also to feed my hobbies. I love gaming. I love Star Stable. I love being able to purchase things, and I like being able to bring better rewards to the showing industry and the showing world. So yeah, we're gonna try and bring more of the eventing stuff in the winter time and the fall time. It may not coincide with the real world eventing and hunters, but I do believe in the real world they do a little bit in the fall first, or a little bit in the fall for a little bit of time. Not a lot. But we're gonna try and do some of that and hope for the best. And we're gonna be a little bit different than a lot of other showing and a lot of other hunter servers, because I know a lot of servers do it a lot of other ways, but we're not all created equal. We're all different. We all have different things that we want to continue to bring forward and change also. I mean, yes, some of this should be realistic based, but it shouldn't all have to be forced into one season. So that's my thought about it. But yeah, I wanted to just share some of the servers and shout outs to them. There are a few other ones that I am a part of that I haven't really been able to get to know very well. And that's not necessarily anybody's fault, not mine, not theirs. It's just time-wise. Timing is everything when it comes down to it. And I just think time-wise, there wasn't a lot of things that I could do in those servers during the time that I've been a part of them. So doesn't mean I won't try and still do more things in those servers, and who knows, I might update my list later on and say, hey guys, add these ones to yours as well. But I will say I am very much well known as a photographer no matter where you go. I don't necessarily do a lot of photography on this server for Star Stable, so I'm on Stormy Pear, and I don't hide that. You can find me on here anywhere. I'm basically running around all the time doing things, so you can always find me on this server. But I also do like to go to Night Star. There's a few other ones like Raspberry, I think there's that one, and then there's the Chocolate Cupcake one, and Night Sprinkles. I have kind of let go of being on Night Sprinkles just because there was a bit of drama between a few clubs there. And we don't want to really be a part of that. We just want to stay out of it. But yeah, I'm pretty much there. I'm pretty much everywhere, realistically. And if you ask our showing server, hey, do you think you can host some shows on this server? By all means, we will. You just have to ask. I'm pretty lenient when it comes to a lot of the locations that we go to. It's just we've only ever had Stormy Pear as a showing area for us, so we've never really moved to another server. Let me go in here. I don't think I see any over here, so. But yeah, what are your guys' other servers that you're a part of, or if you're a part of this one, like what do you love most about your showing server or about the servers I've listed if you're a part of them? Is there any ones that you can recommend in the comments? Is there ones that you would prefer, like over hunters over dressage? Do you like cross country, eventing overall? Kind of tell me what you think and what your thoughts are and opinions in the comments, and kind of share with us, because I mean I'm really curious. I'm not gonna lie, I would really love to be a part of more servers as I go, but obviously there's some limitations to what I can and can't do, and the time management is also an issue. So not to say that I couldn't time manage, but it's just more so you can't win over everybody. You can't be a part of everything as much as you'd like to be. There's not enough time in the day for it. But yeah, let me know in the comments, and just kind of give me some input there. I did want to also talk about some things when it comes to showing servers. We've kind of experienced as ENHS, like tossing up ideas of like, oh, do we want to add a clinic? Do we want to add a stable barn? Do we want to do those things? And realistically, is that a dream of mine? No. We want to add a boarding center so that like people can role play and do the boarding at our stable and train and do dressage. But that's a long time goal and it's a long time idea. It's not one that we want to kind of do or focus on right this second. I have had a lot of feedback on doing more showings and stuff like that, but with the seasonal changeover and the events that are happening in Star Stable and how long those trailblazers can be or stuff like that, we take into consideration of everything. We also take into consideration of other servers and their showing times. We really try and match and make sure that we're not crossing barriers, meaning that everybody who is doing shows can then go and attend the next show or vice versa. That's why we try to transition off of weekend days, because we do see a lot of showing servers use those weekend days to the max, and a lot of showing clubs too. I want to add that in there. There's a lot of showing clubs that also do the same, that do require clinicals, that do require lessons to be taken. And I want to point this out, that like even if you are in a club, you shouldn't be forced to do a lot of the things you don't want to do. And if you are and you feel pressured by it, maybe taking a break from that is probably going to be in your best interest, because the last thing you want to do is do a burnout from Star Stable or a burnout overall from showing. I think a lot of people face that, and it's kind of hard to hear that a lot of people, they do experience the burnout of that, and it's not fun for them anymore. And I think some of these showing servers, I'm not saying all, and I also want to drag in the club ones too, because I'm guilty of that. My club, we used to have really strict parameters at one point, and it didn't work well for us. It really didn't. It caused a lot of panic, and that's what we're not for that. Our club was never meant to be like that. So we kind of backpedaled and redid a lot of the things that we were deciding to do. But yeah, I think in general, I thought this since the first time of being a part of any club, that having strict parameters or saying you need to be on 5 days a week, that's not realistic. People have lives. I might be grown, but there's a lot of younger people who are not quite my age that, they go to school or they have tutoring or they have all these other things outside of this gaming world. And I don't think that's very realistic. And I also don't feel you should be kicking someone out just because they couldn't attend a lesson. So I do hear back and forth, some of the club servers are kind of like that, and I really hope that's not the case. I really hope that they can, understand that people do have lives, like really do. I haven't heard of a lot of shows being very strict like that, like a lot of showing servers and a lot of clubs nowadays, but I do still hear about it. I do still hear that there are some very strict clubs. And by all means, if that's what you are, great, but you have to understand, with being that strict comes with people leaving. And I'm not saying they will or won't. I'm just saying this is just an opinion. It's what I've heard down the grapevine. Again, opinion. So I've learned very, very much through my own lessons with my own club, through my own showing server. There are going to be loyal people who do show up, and then there are going to be people who just don't. And unfortunately, I am one of the people who, I want loyal people. I want the loyal ones. So the ones that aren't showing up, why are you in my server? You shouldn't really be in my server if you're not there to show. And that's kind of the whole point of a showing server, is that people are there to show. That's why I made mine. So I want to give people the opportunity who want to show up and actually do something in SSO when there aren't events available, when they've really completed everything in that event, right? For instance, the Camp Western. When people have really completed all of the events that are going on. I want there to be something for someone to do, and that's the whole point. So it may sound a little harsh coming from me saying that, like, well, I don't want you in my server if you're not showing. It is harsh, because the harsh reality is it's there for people who want to show up. I wouldn't join something with the intentions of never showing up. So I don't want people to do that with me. And we do occasionally clean house, and I'm totally fine being completely a small showing server. We've been small from the get-go. I mean, people would say 152 people is a lot. Well, no, if you look at the other showing servers who have 500, 300, it's not a lot. We've never had a lot of people. We unfortunately just lost a lot of people in 2024 when we had our whole server basically ran down. We lost that server. I had to completely start the server from scratch. So when I'm talking about server, if everybody doesn't know, it's regarding Discord. So Discord is a lot of the communication style nowadays for a lot of gaming industries and gaming platforms. So, excuse me, but yes, it is something that we use for our showing server, and we continue to use. We also still use our Instagram. We used to be mainly Instagram based, and that changed a lot. So I just want, I just want people to be able to show when they want to show, and if we happen to be hosting one, great. But I don't want people to sit in my server and never show, because what does that tell me? You're only just here to sit around. You're not here to actually be participating in anything that we're offering. And that's not really fair as a showing server, because then that's not reflecting the true numbers of people we have that actually show. So, and I don't, not saying that I want the popularity in that way, but I want the right people to be in my server. I want the people who want to actually be there to be in my server. We don't want to just add people willy-nilly. So, that being said, just something that I wanted to point out with the strictness of other servers and versus ours and what we've gone through, and point out some servers that we really enjoy. I say we, but like myself and many other people in my actual showing server, we really enjoy some of the ones that I've listed. And again, I'll make sure to put them in the comments, but it's just been one of those times nowadays where it's not like how it used to be when we first started Star Stable. And when I say we, but I mean like people who were here from the beginning when it first started. It's never been the same. It never will be. There's a lot of changes going on in this game that realistically it's going to be quite a change. So it's already been quite a change if you really ask me. But yeah, I just wanted to share some of those things with you guys and kind of have a little talk about some recommended ones. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave the video here. Thank you guys for joining and talking, and please, by all means, feel free to share. Today was the first day I was actually able to use that reshade thing, so it actually worked. It wasn't in my way too much, so I appreciate reshade for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. And don't forget to leave your comments down below. Really tell me what you feel, and if I've missed any showing servers you feel need some recognition, put them down in the comments. I'll add them to and see what they're about and see what they do and how they show, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.